Stand up. Tony Baker is in the house.
What's up?
How are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
I mean, that's a real loaded question to ask in the age of the Rona, isn't it?
Right.
All things considered, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
There's people who have it far worse. I've seen the insides of some of these celebrities' houses. There's some people who have it way better as well.
Right.
Where are you currently calling from?
I am at home in Burbank, California.
You are in Burbank. All right, so you're in the Valley, and I'm down near Koreatown, Hollywood. So we're not too far from.
Oh yeah, you're close. Okay.
Yeah. What's the vibe like right now in Burbank?
It feels like normal. Like Burbank is not very super busy on its own anyway, so it's not a big shift. Like the downtown area, you can tell,
Right.
But everything else seems pretty much regular Burbank. You know what I mean?
Burbank doesn't. Burbank is Hollywood, so it's a facade anyway. It stays the same, right?
Right. How's Koreatown?
I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm not really leaving my house too much. But I go on walks in my neighborhood. I live kind of near Hancock Park, and some days it feels like we're in quarantine. Saturday, I took a walk and I probably counted about 100 people out. So we'll see. But Tony, we're so thrilled to have you on the show. Not only are you a hilarious comedian, but we've been doing our research on you. You are a hip hop head.
Yeah,
you're definitely a hip hop head. Like
absolutely.
I think we should just get into it. And if you guys have questions, drop them in the little question box. If we have some time at the end, we might do a little Q&A with the fans. I don't know what you call your fans, the Baker heads? The bakery. The bakery. Yeah. That's way better than the Baker heads. All right, so, Tony, we're going to get into it. Our first round is called The Choice is Yours.
Okay.
This is general multiple choice. You can use the chat if you need help. And also, they're worth 5 points each. So let's get into it. The first question. This R&B singer wrote the hook for the Roots Grammy Award-winning single, You Got Me. Was it A, Jaguar? He's hopping right into it. You're saying Jill Scott?
Yeah.
He says Jill Scott. And that is absolutely correct. Jill Scott is correct. He knows his things.
What you know about that?
Did you watch the Erica and Jill battle?
Absolutely, the whole thing.
Who were you gunning for somebody? Like, did you go in like with a preference or what were
No,
you saying?
because honestly, they're two of my favorite singers of all time. So I was just happy to be there and happy to hear it. So I didn't really have a dog in the fight. I was just happy that they were doing it.
Do you feel like there was a winner, or it's kind of hard to judge these things, right?
Yeah, so much so that normally I do like recaps, and I recap every round. I didn't even do that for this one. I was just like, since I love them so much, I'm not even gonna do it. So yeah. I never even did my recap.
And shout out to them. I think we could say perhaps the least technical problems. I would say, like it went pretty smooth. Especially compared to like last week's where the Luda and Nelly debacle.
Yeah, Nelly was
legends, but
yeah. The internet is the biggest enemy in all of this. Even though it's the biggest asset, it's also the biggest enemy of the verses.
It's a tough beast to tame. We've definitely had a couple shows ourselves go off the rails because the Wi-Fi just starts acting up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so far, so good. All right, we're gonna move on to our next question, Tony. The second question of the night.
Okay.
Speaking of Luda, a member of this group makes a bathroom scene cameo in the Spike Jonze directed music video for Ludacris's Get Back. Was it A, Outcast, B, Saint Lunatics, C, Farside, or D, Mobb Deep? Which group member makes a cameo in the video?
Oh, this is tough. I wanna say the Farside because I know Spike Jonze directed one of their videos. I think he directed Drop.
He did direct Drop. Yeah.
So the comment section, I see a lot of B's and A's.
You can't always trust these comments, man. Like we have a very confident group, but they aren't always accurate.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm just like, since Spike Jonze directed the video, I wanna lean towards the Farside, but I am not confident. But I'm gonna go with C.
All right, he's going Farside. He's going with his gut. And he is absolutely correct. That is Fat Lip right there. Fat Lip played the guy. I don't know if you remember the video, but he's at the urinal and he's like talking up Luda while Luda's just trying to handle his business. And that was Fat Lip from the Far Side. Yeah. Very astute of you to make the Spike Jonze connection. Spike Jonze did direct the video for Drop. He also directed Fat Lip's "What's Up Fat Lip" music video, which a really crazy documentary. And I don't know if you've seen that before.
Oh, they have a documentary? I gotta check that out.
Yeah. They shot a music video for "What's Up Fat Lip," but then they also did like a little featurette that they included. And it's like kind of like it's a little depressing because like Fat Lip wasn't in the best place in his life at that point. So it's kind of like what happens like after you cool off a little bit from being hot. But it's definitely worth a watch for you and anybody who hasn't seen it. You can find it on YouTube. It's the "What's Up Fat Lip" documentary.
I gotta check that out because I really like that song. So I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah. Fat Lip was actually playing Mac Dre in the video. Somebody pointed out. So it was kind of
Murs is in here.
Yeah.
You see Murs down there in the comment section?
Murs is a fan of the show. Murs was on our first week that we ever did. Murs was one of our first guests that we had.
Man,
so
shout out to Murs, man. Murs is dope.
Yeah, we love Murs as well. All right, moving on to the third question in this round. Percy Miracles is the fictional R&B alter ego of this rapper. Is it Fonte Coleman, 2 Chainz, Master P, or Brother Ali?
Fonte Coleman.
He says Fonte Coleman with a confidence that you can't deny. And that is correct. It is Fonte from Little Brother Foreign Exchange. Who could forget the classic Cheatin'?
Oh, man.
Are you a Little Brother fan?
Yes, absolutely. Big Little Brother fan.
Big Little Brother fan. Fonte is another friend of the show. We've been we're working on getting him on the show because he would be great.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of comedians are not necessarily like, a lot of times when people are into something like comedy, like that's their jam. And the fact that you could say that you are a big Little Brother fan lets me know that like music and comedy have got to be a little neck and neck in terms of your interests. Like what did you like? When did you start really getting into hip hop? Was it at the same time as comedy or like sort of at this, like what came first?
Oh, definitely hip hop. I grew up with 2 older brothers, and my middle brother Scott, he had all kind of hip hop albums and tapes, and then my oldest brother kind of transitioned out of house music. Then he got into hip hop like Wu-Tang and all of that. So I was just surrounded, and then I came into my own taste in hip hop, and I just always loved music. I would watch BET and MTV and VH1 constantly, and I would just watch Rap City and the Top 20 and all of that, and so I just got really into it. And so I didn't start doing comedy until like 2008.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. All right, so hip hop definitely first. Definitely first. All right, we're gonna move on to the final question in this round. Okay. The final is: this West Coast rapper has found work as both an on-screen and voice actor, appearing in the CW's Black Lightning and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So we talked about comedy, acting, and now this is the inverse of that. So who is the MC? Is it Blue, YG, Crondon, or Murs?
Crondon.
Crondon. This would stump most people, but you were not fazed by it at all. And guess what, folks? He's absolutely correct. It is Crondon. Shout out to Strong Arm Steady.
Absolutely.
I got, you may have talked about this before, but you're really having like a renaissance in a moment right now as a voiceover actor, or not even as a voiceover actor, but your voice is making some rounds on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Like, how did you sort of start? Like, can you tell for the people who don't know, how did that sort of jump off for you? Because like you've become a phenomenon, like in terms of like lending your voice to these things.
Man, I always grew up with pets, and so I just, one day in 2013, I just did a video of a goat in Brazil harassing these people. And I was like, what is that goat thinking about? I was like, let me just be him. I'm going to be the goat in this video. And so I did like 2 videos like that. And then I reposted them on my Instagram page in like 2016, and one of them took off. And so I was like, let me just start doing these regularly since people seem to enjoy it. And I always knew that people would enjoy it. It was just, that was confirmation. And then once I started doing that and I started doing it more consistently, that's when the traction started happening. And
So you're saying,
I just genuinely love to do it.
I do it all the time for my cat. So you're saying if maybe I like really just stick to it and maybe start going public with it, I might be the next Tony Baker is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. Yep. All right, we're going to move on to our second round, Tony. You aced the first round, flawless score. If you guys are just joining us, we have Tony Baker in the house. Drop your questions in the little question box. The second round is a little different. Now we are in Picasso, baby. So in this round, the points are now doubled. I'm going to show you a piece of an album cover, and you have to identify what the album is by the little piece of it that you see.
Okay.
All right, go on to the next round. Let's do it. What album cover is this? Is it Pharoah Monch, Internal Affairs, Trinidad James, Don't Be Safe, Nas, I Am, or Busta Rhymes, The Big Bang?
C, Nas, I Am.
He says it's C, Nas, I Am, and that is absolutely correct. Hip Hop Head question, what is your favorite Nas album?
Oh, Illmatic. Illmatic is my favorite album, period.
Of all albums.
Of all albums, Illmatic is my favorite, man.
Can't argue with that. There's a strange faction of hip hop, I don't know if you've encountered, but a lot of people swear by that second album, and we'll say that it's better than Illmatic.
It was written as a great album. It's a great. You heard him change direction, but it worked. And I was happy that the masses got to really experience Nas on that one. So I love It Was Written too. But Illmatic is that one, man.
Yeah, no, I can respect It Was Written, but I don't trust anyone who says they prefer it over Illmatic. Like, I'll let you in my house, but I'm gonna like keep my eye on you. You know what I mean? Like,
Lupe Fiasco swears up and down by the It Was Written album.
Lupe Fiasco has had some hot take, some hot take opinions on some hip hop stuff. But shout out to Lupe. He's a distant relative friend of the show, I guess you could say. We're moving on to the next question in our round. What album cover is this? Is it Deltron 3030, Kool Keith, The Return of Dr. Octagon, Chance the Rapper, Acid Rapper, or Future, Dirty Sprite 2?
I think I'm gonna go with Future, Dirty Sprite 2. Although I'm not confident. But
he's not confident, but he's going with it. But once again, he's got an impeccable hip hop compass because that is correct. It is Future. You seem like somebody who definitely is from a certain era in terms of your taste. Are there do you rock with like a Future? Do you rock with like any of the newer artists? I
don't like Future's music at all. I just can't. You know, I've given him chances, but I'm just like, I can't. But on the new school artists, new is as far as what year would you say new?
We'll say the last 5 years.
Oh,
5 years.
Okay. Definitely. I guess Chance would come like 6 years ago. I love Chance the Rapper. I like D Smoke a lot right now. I like Isaiah Rashad.
Ooh, yeah. TDE.
Yeah. What else?
Anderson .Paak's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah. The Malibu album is a classic to me. I love that album.
Malibu is a classic. I try to tell people it is my favorite. You know, I've enjoyed moments on his later albums, but to me, like Malibu was just like lightning in a bottle.
I couldn't stop listening to it, man. It was amazing.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to the final question in our second round. What album cover is this? Is it Gravediggers, 6 Feet Deep, Nas, Hip Hop Is Dead, Ice Cube, Death Certificate, or Two Live Crew, Banned in the USA?
Ice Cube, Death Certificate.
He says it's Ice Cube, and guess what, folks? That is absolutely right. What's your favorite Cube album?
My favorite Cube album, I really like America's Most Wanted a lot.
Yeah.
And I rotated his first 3 albums were just really dope. I like The Predator, Death Certificate, and America's Most Wanted. But I'd probably go with that first one, barely.
Yeah, on Saturday, I was kind of mad that he did this because, or maybe he did this intentionally, but while everybody was watching the Nelly Luda battle, he did a stream on his page, and he played the first album, America's Most Wanted, front to back, and talked about the song, which I was like, I love that you're doing this. I hate that you're doing it right now. Like,
yeah, shoot,
wish you
man.
could the next day. Somebody said the "Are We There Yet" soundtrack. That's very
Man,
funny.
I would have loved to hear that, man. I didn't know he did it.
I'm sure somebody ripped it, or maybe he'll do it again. But yeah, shout out to Ice Cube, classic, living legend for sure. All right, Tony, we're moving into our third round.
Okay.
We've tested your knowledge, your brain. We've tested your eyes. Now we're testing your ears. It's digging crates, baby. So in this round, I'm going to ask you questions about samples. I'm going to play you the sample.
Okay.
After I ask you a question, you have to answer. So are you ready? Are you feeling good about samples? Are you a sample guy?
I like to I love to find a sample somewhere else on accident. I'd be like, yo, that's from the song. I love finding that.
Absolutely. I was in a film class when I was in college, and there was we were watching it, and it happened in the first few minutes of the movie, but it's two characters in the film Chameleon Street, and they're talking about women, and she's got that good hair. It's like, man, you disgust me. It's like, hey man, I'm conditioned. Even my condition has been conditioned. And I was in the room, probably 30 people in the dark in a classroom watching. I'm like, that's from the fucking Black Star.
Black Star, man. Yeah. What movie is that from?
It's a movie called Chameleon Street, and it was directed and written, and I think starring this guy Wendell B. Harris. He was a black actor who kind of didn't really take off. I think at one point they offered him a sitcom, and he said no. He's very you can find the movie; it's out there. But the film is called Chameleon Street, and it's okay.
I found a sample for an Outcast song in the movie Midnight Express.
Midnight Express, Outcast.
Do you remember Return of the Gangster? It's the first song on the Aquemini.
Oh, that's right.
That sample is in the score of Midnight Express in the beginning. I was like, yo, that's Outcast. I was excited. Nobody knew what I was talking about, but
Sit down. You're like, but it's Outcast.
It's Outcast, man. Come on.
You became the Outcast in that moment. Very fitting. All right, we're going to hop into the first question, Tony. Here we go. So I'm going to read it to you. This cue from composer Bernard Herrmann's score to the film Psycho was sampled for a single by this artist. Here's that sample. Is it Puff Daddy, Busta Rhymes, Dr. Dre, or Lupe Fiasco?
Busta Rhymes. Give me some more.
Busta Rhymes.
People had enough. Give me some more. People want the wild hit. Give me some more. The split for the G's out. Give me some more. You know we don't need that. Give me some more. Even though we can give
yeah, that's a crazy find. That's a good one. There's a lot of rumors I saw on the internet. I saw on the internet. We're all on the internet all the time. But I saw Swizz and Snoop talking, and Snoop called out Busta Rhymes for a versus battle. Who's your money on in that battle, Tony?
My money would be on Busta in that battle. Yeah.
Explain your reasoning. What's your
because Busta not only has his solo hits, he also has dynamic features, as does Snoop. But right. I feel like Busta just has a little bit more in his pocket than Snoop would in terms of the overall body of work that he can just throw into the mix.
Yeah, because you got to remember, you getting Busta, you're not only getting, he basically was the feature guy until Ludacris became the feature guy.
Right.
So if Busta, you're getting Scenario. Mm-hmm. You're getting the Scenario remix. You get a lot with it, and he's got. Yep. I don't think Snoop has many songs that are on the energetic level of most Busta Rhymes songs.
No,
Busta Rhymes, energy. But on the other hand, Snoop, nothing but a G thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah. Still a G thing. Oh man, it'll be a tough one. That'll be a great battle though.
We'll see if it happens, but they both have deep catalogs for sure. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. All right, King Crimson's 21st Century Schizoid Man was sampled in a single by this artist. I'm gonna play you that sample. Is it Kid Cudi, Kendrick Lamar, G-Eazy, or Kanye West?
Kanye West.
He says Kanye. And he is correct. You seem like you were unsure about that for a second.
Yeah, I was like, because I could hear it, but I was like, and then boom, okay. Because I couldn't quite remember the Kanye song, but I remember Kanye.
Yep. Shout out to S1 who produced that from Strange Fruit Project. All right, we're moving on to the last question in this round.
Okay.
Soul and R&B guitarist Dennis Coffey's Ride Sally Ride was sampled on a 1989 single by this artist. All right, here is the sample. Was it LL Cool J, Tone Loc, De La Soul, or Queen Latifah?
This is a tough one right here. I'm going to go with Tone Loc.
He's going with Tone Loc. I'm going to play you what this answer is.
I was at the mall, sipping on a milkshake.
LL Cool J.
Hey.
That was in the cut.
Gina got a big old butt. You know what told you I'd be true? Oh, man.
It's totally a song that you could put out in 2020 and not get canceled at all. He says, Tina's got a big old butt. I know I told you I'd be true, but Tina's got a big old butt, and so I'm leaving.
I'm leaving you. See ya. Man.
Super woke. Very woke.
I want to see LL in the versus battle, man.
LL would be crazy. Who would you put LL up against?
He would have to go up against somebody with a deep catalog, though, because LL's longevity is crazy. So it would have to be somebody with a deep catalog of hits.
Jay?
Yeah, Jay-Z might be the only one that could hang with him on that front. Because LL has the hard tracks, he has the lyrical tracks, he has the battle tracks, he has the tracks for the ladies, dope features, all of that. So
he really has at least 3 eras, because he's got like the old school Def Jam, like how he came out. Then he's got like, you know, the sort of second wave of that, like the Mama Said Knock You Out era. And then he came back in the mid 90s and was making songs that were like, for all intents and purposes, more like commercial, like pop leaning, but still like, you know, you throw on Doing It or like Hey Lover, and like I'm not going to be mad at it. You know,
right?
Those are joints. All right, so Tony, you've gotten one question wrong so far, which is impeccable. So we are now at our final round, and the final round is called Time's Up. Okay. So this is how it works. You are going to have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions in the category of your choosing. I'm going to give you 3 categories to choose from. You pick one, and you have 90 seconds. So here are your categories for today. The first category is hip-hop skits. The second category is let's see how well you remember the 2019 Grammy Awards. And the third is must be the voice, rappers and voiceover work.
Oh, wow.
So you pick the category, which one you feel strong about. You'll have to answer 5 questions in that category.
Whew. I'll go with the voiceover.
He's going voiceover. It's near and dear to your heart, perhaps. So, like I said, you'll have 90 seconds. You can use the crowd. If you don't know the answer, you can pass, and we can come back to it. But you only get one guess. So if you answer wrong on it, you lose that point. I have OC's classic song, Time's Up here. It is time to 90 seconds. So when the time is up on OC, Tony, your time is up. So are you ready?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right. And remember, if you don't know, you can pass. So this is rappers doing voiceover work. 90 seconds. Tony Baker, the questions. Let's go. In recent years, Common has provided his voice in marketing campaigns for this tech company.
Next question.
Next question. We'll skip it. This rapper portrayed the fictional character Gangstalicious on the Boondocks animated series.
Gangstalicious is Gangstalicious. Is that Most Def?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Kanye West was the voice of Kenny West on this animated television show.
Kenny West. Next question.
We'll pass. All right. Tone Loc created and provided the voice of one of the main characters in this 90s Saturday morning cartoon show. What was it called?
Oh, this is a 90s Saturday morning cartoon show? Oh, snap. Next question.
All right, we'll pass. Nicki Minaj did the voice for Steffi in this animated film.
Oh, she did? Oh, snap. All right. Going back to the common question.
Yeah. What company did he do the voice for? It's a tech company.
Intel?
It is not Intel. Microsoft. All right. Kanye West was the voice of Kenny West in this animated TV show.
Animated TV show. Oh, man. I didn't know he did this.
Chat, help him out. Help Tony Baker out.
Crap. We off the common thing. Y'all still doing the
Tony, our time is up.
Oh man.
Whew. All right. I'll reveal the answers to you. You know, this we get tough in this round, and you got one right. So Common did the voice for Microsoft. He's in all. He's talking about the AI. Kanye West was the voice of Kenny West on the Cleveland Show, the spinoff of Family Guy.
Wait, you said Saturday morning.
That was my next one. That's my next one that I said. Tone Loc was a Saturday morning cartoon show called Sea Bear and Jamal.
Oh, that's what. Oh man.
Nicki Minaj did the voice in the animated film Ice Age: Continental Drift.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Nicki Minaj getting that Ice Age money. So,
no clue.
Tony, but guys, if you have questions for Tony, drop them in the question box. If you have a little time, Tony, we'd love to talk some hip hop with you. I'm going to total up your score right now, but what I'd like to know from you is who would you challenge to come on this show next? Who's somebody that you think would crush or kill on this show?
Godfrey.
Godfrey. Woo! He'd be good.
Yeah.
There's a good there's a nice little cross pollination of comedians who really know this hip hop shit as well.
Yeah.
So I think that he would be great.
You know who else would be good on here is Russell Peters.
Russell Peters, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but let's just say you might.
He's a serious hip hop head.
I also want to shout out a little promotion for tomorrow. We're going to have the legendary Mr. C on the show tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Mr. C, Biggie's DJ, helped Biggie sign his deal, was a DJ for Big Daddy Kane. And not only that, tomorrow is Biggie's birthday. We're doing an all Biggie game tomorrow. So if you guys are watching, come back tomorrow night. We're going to have Mr. C in the house, and we're thrilled to have him, as we're thrilled to have you. Tony, you scored 10 out of 15 correct, which is very respectable. No matter what your points are, you are a champion in our eyes. My girlfriend hates when I dance awkwardly on camera. That's why I do it.
You got to do it, man. You got to do it.
All right, so let's talk some hip hop. If you guys have some questions for Tony, drop them in that box. We've got quite a bit, so let's see what we got here. The real Doc Justice asks, Tony, give us your top 5 MCs. That's tough. That's
my top 5, I'll go with Nas, Black Thought, Common, Andre 3000, Jay-Z.
Hard to argue with any of that. Those are all fierce. You're a lyrical guy. You respect the I'm not mad at that at all. All right, let's see what else we got. What feels better, dropping something and catching it in midair, or the shiver when you're done peeing? Didn't know where this was going. Might have read the whole thing before I posted it, but it's.
I like the dropping something and catching it in midair. That because you feel like you got superpowers at that point.
It's actually they're actually two very different feelings. Dropping something and catching it in midair feels very much like a relief. It's like feeling like you almost like failed and then recovering.
Right.
The thing is more of it's just a biological thing. I don't know if I like it or not. It just happens, and I just got to roll with it,
And you can't brag about it. You can brag about your reflexes. You can be like, hey, you can't really brag about the pee chill.
Imagine if you were the guy who always bragged about the pee chill and how annoying it would be. It's like, let me. You got to chill. Great, Tony.
As soon as he walks in the building, you already know what he's
You know what it is. Your boy P.
Man, P Chills, baby. What's up?
P Chills. Y'all know what it is? All right. DJ Largechild asks, Tony, what other comedians are secret hip-hop heads, too?
Okay. To hear more.
Yep. To hear more came to one of our shows in LA.
Oh, yeah. He'd be great on this show with the questions, too, because he is a music head. Afion Crockett is a hip hop head. Ruben Paul. Who else? Keenan Baker. He's a hip hop head. Who else? Ida Rodriguez is a hip hop head.
I mean, I feel like I have to at this point be making a concerted effort to not be a hip hop head at this. Like, if you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's out there. I mean, you at least got to be a general fan of the music. But I guess what the question is more like somebody who would know a Little Brother or somebody who would know,
the obscure joints.
The obscure joints. I worked on a project with Brian Tyree Henry, yeah. And he name dropped Little Brother, and I was like, okay, like there's just like okay.
Yeah. When anybody knows about Little Brother, you just like, okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, I've been a day one Little Brother fan since the Roots OK Player message boards.
Man, I used to love OK Player. OK Player was a daily website stop for me for a long time.
Absolutely. It kind of predated all social media, if you think about it.
It did.
DJ Marquis asks, what was the last album you purchased or downloaded?
The last album I purchased was I think D Smoke's Black Habits.
Yeah.
That was the last one I purchased. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to D Smoke. All right, let's see what else we got. We got some more. Reggie Steady asks, what hip-hop album spoke to you most in your adolescence? What was that formative album for you, Tony?
It was actually Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers.
Yeah.
That album right there, that made my hunger for hip-hop grow exponentially. That album, because before that, I was listening to like a lot of R&B.
Yeah.
And the West Coast sound was like dominant really in like music. Everybody was trying to get that West Coast sound because Death Row was killing it. And so Wu-Tang came out, and I'll never forget the first day I heard The Mystery of Chess Boxing. That was the first song I ever heard. I was like, who is this? And then from there, it was just, I was ravenous for more. And then that's what catapulted my love of hip hop right there.
What a treat too, when you're first getting into that. You're like, man, I really like this Wu-Tang thing. And it's like, guess what? There's like 10 guys.
Yeah. It was like, and there was so many of them. It reminded, I'm a comic book head too, so it just reminded me of like a superhero team.
Right. They're like the Avengers or something like that.
Yep.
Amazing. All right, let's see what else we got. Favorite R&B and hip hop collaboration. What do you think is the best example of that? We were talking about LL earlier. He certainly dipped into that in the 90s, but what would you say is the best R&B and hip hop collab?
R&B hip hop collab. I think Erykah Badu really vibes with rappers extremely well. Like when she does anything with like a hip hop guy, like whether it be Common or Andre 3000, it's just a seamless like collab.
Yeah. Well, you know, she is a rapper. She was a rapper before she was a singer.
And it makes sense, and you can hear it. It always flows together well. D'Angelo and whatever, rapper he collabs with is usually like a smooth ride. Who else? Anderson .Paak, man. He's like a newer version of just like really like a sonic chameleon of like is he kind of rapping? He's kind of singing at the same time, and it's just like, and Fonte predates Drake on the singing rapping tip.
Listen, there would be no Drake without a Fonte Coleman. Straight up.
Right.
People who know.
And we all know who did the collab the best was Lauryn Hill.
She was a collaboration in herself.
Right.
self-contained, it's collaborative.
She was a one-stop shop, and whenever she would sing with the Fugees and stuff, like it was just a perfect like mix of just like R&B and rap. I loved it.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to some more questions here. And you let me know when you got to go, because I don't want to keep you too long.
Oh, no, we good.
All right. Let's see. If Ninth Wonder were to do a versus, who would be a great opponent for Ninth Wonder?
Ooh, Ninth Wonder. I love Ninth Wonder. I would like to see him go against. I would like to see Ninth Wonder go against Eric Sermon.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
Eric Sermon's underrated, I think, in a lot of these conversations.
He is, man. I would like to see that battle.
Yeah, they're not from the same era for sure, but
right.
I think that would be an interesting mashup. Yeah, I'm seeing Pete Rock, Q-Tip. Yeah,
you know what? Pete Rock is the sound that Ninth Wonder is closest to, actually, in my opinion. Like Ninth Wonder reminds me of like Pete Rock and Jay Dilla in terms of his sound. So maybe Pete Rock might be the move.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. All right, let's see what else we got. Along the same lines, who is your favorite producer from the 90s?
Oh, the 90s, I was all about the RZA, DJ Premier, and Havoc. From
Havoc's another underrated dude, man.
Yeah.
Like the Marquis Deep albums.
No. The Infamous album is a perfect album.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. And there's a lot of songs on that album, but each one is dope. It's no skips.
Something in the chat. Question for both of you. What's your opinion on Tech Nine or street music as a whole, musically and independent wise? Are you up on Tech Nine? Are you up on that world? That's kind of like its own subsection almost of underground music, right?
Right. I don't really listen to a ton of Tech Nine, to be honest with you. I never really ventured into the Tech Nine section of the store. So I can't really say. I mean, it's no diss at all. I just never dabbled in Tech Nine.
I'm kind of in the same boat. We had recognized from the group Mayday on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he signed to Tech Nine's label. So, fan of much respect to what they're doing, but it's a lot of music out there, and maybe one day I will get super into it.
Right.
I'm not swearing off of it, but I have not really dived deep into that world. All right, let's see. This is not about hip hop, but this is interesting. How often do you crave meat now that you're vegan, and how do you fight the craving? How long have you been vegan?
I'm vegetarian, 100%, 90% vegan. So I'm not, always just, clear my name on that.
Because they'll get you. They'll get you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be considered a vegan when somebody sees me eating a cookie, and then they're like, oh, but I'm 100% vegetarian. Do I have the cravings? Sometimes, yeah. Like I'll reminisce and be like, oh, fish, or like, shrimp, pepperoni, whatever. But it usually doesn't last long. It's very fleeting, and I'm never close to breaking down. The toughest thing is, though, I want a slice of pizza every now and then, like some real cheese every now and then.
I mean, it's got to be, you got to like figure it's easier now than ever there's so many options now for like meat substitutes and cheese substitutes. Right. I'm not a strict vegan or vegetarian, but I do skew that way a lot. And like ice cream is better than it's ever been. Like even like with pizza, like I do the diet cheese, there's a lot of options, but yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. Ooh, this is a tough one. Tribe Called Quest or Outcast?
Wow, that's what we doing out here?
That would be a versus that might break, maybe not the internet, but break my brain.
Oh, yeah. Watching. That, oh, man. I don't even like this question, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Fuck whoever asked that question.
I don't like it. And it's funny how similar their paths were on the discography front. Like, arguably, classic debut albums.
Yeah.
I think personally people don't value Southern Playalistic like they should. Same with Tribe's debut album. Then you got the Low End Theory, which people consider Tribe's cream of the crop album.
Yeah.
They always argue. They always argue between Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders. They're like, yeah, it's a tug of war. Same thing with Outcast between AT-Aliens and the Aquemini. There's always that tug of war. And then Stankonia and Midnight Marauders. Midnight Marauders I like more than Stankonia as a whole.
Yeah.
And then Outcast, of course, has the big opus for them, which was the Speaker Box Love Below collab.
And AT-Aliens. Don't forget about AT-Aliens as well.
Oh, yeah, I mentioned AT-Aliens because AT-Aliens and the Low End Theory were like...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's tough, man. I don't know, man. I'm going to lean towards Outcast only because the rhymes hit me a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Like Andre's verses and Big Boy's verses, they hit me a little bit harder than Tribe's verses, but they got multiple classics.
Yeah, it's a paper thin margin between them. I'll say, for me personally, Tribe is my favorite group.
Mm-hmm.
Andre is my favorite MC.
Okay,
so that's that. I don't think that anybody in Tribe is touching Andre on the mic.
Andre is just ridiculous.
But also, in a lot of ways, Outkast is sort of standing on Tribe's shoulders as well. Like they came after, and you can't take that away from them either. All right, we got time for a few more. Let's see.
Okay.
All-time better city for artists, Chicago or LA? You lived in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You're a current LA resident. What do you think? And I guess this could be interpreted, I don't know, is this just music, or is this like for comedy or anything? I don't know.
I feel like LA is where you go to get seen, and you have access to all types of shooting in terms of like TV, film, comedy, art. You can LA is a place to be for that exposure to eyes, to all kind of eyes to see your work. And so I would say LA. But in terms of like, LA is not a good place, in my opinion, a lot of times for motivation or like inspiration artistically.
Right.
I feel like, because so much of LA is like entertainment and like, this and entertainment. That doesn't leave a lot of room for inspiration. Where if you go to a different city where it's just like they're focused on different things, I feel like you can find more artistic inspiration from a city like Chicago. But then once you get that, then you take it to LA so people can see it. Yeah,
I mean, I think it might have been Chris Rock who once made this statement that was like, people think that like the America is New York and LA, that like those are representations of America. If you've ever driven through this country, if you've done shows, if you've just or traveled across it, America is not LA or New York. America is a lot of land and small towns. So like the big cities that you think of as being emblematic of the country are really kind of the outliers. So I totally feel you on that, in that like there's not as much inspiration. Right. All right, let's see. Man, we got a bunch. I'm going to try to get through these.
They yelling at me to answer the question, so I'm gonna say it's a tough answer, because I feel like you need to leave LA to gain more inspiration, and that doesn't necessarily have to be Chicago. Just like a different perspective on life, you need to be in another city. But to be seen, if you want to be an artist that's getting seen, LA is a place to be. So I say LA over Chicago. Okay. All right.
He's made his statement, folks. Get off his back. All right, favorite comedy interlude in a hip-hop album?
I think The Minstrel Show by Little Brother has the best skits and interludes in hip-hop, because they were funny, and they're not interludes I'm in a rush to skip.
Right.
It's like I love these. Yeah. And I assume they mean interludes. They mean like skits or something like that, or like a musical interlude.
I mean, but they even have funny. The Little Brother has musical skits on the Minstrel Show. They have the Fifth and Fashion commercial.
Yeah.
Miracles joint. Like they kind of occupy best of both worlds, and they have all the skits that are kind of going through the album.
De La Soul has some good ones too.
Yeah, I mean, De La Soul like pioneered. I would say they were like one of the like, yeah. Best hip hop music video, asked Coach Patterson.
Oh wow, this is a tough one, man. So many good. The Roots, what they do was a great video. I really
One of the
enjoyed.
first lyrical hip hop videos, you could argue. You know.
Oh man, it was great. They put every visual we would see on every hip hop video on his head, and it was just like, yo, this is this and this is that. I loved it. I'm a huge fan of the Triumph video by Wu-Tang.
It was a moment.
It was a moment. Man, best hip
Those
hop video.
CGIBs aged as well, but
You say what?
I said I don't know if those CGI killer
Oh no,
beats
they
well.
didn't age at all. But just the concept of the video and how each Wu-Tang member had their own like section of the video, and they were doing different things. I was like, yes, this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the best hip hop video. I think Missy and Busta Rhymes had the best videos in hip hop. That's a tough question, man.
Yeah, they definitely have the best like catalogs. I'd love to see those two do a face off just off music videos.
Yeah,
some of the most visual stunning. Also, I got to give a shout out to the Far Side Drop. That was a video when you saw that the first time. Like,
yeah,
it's just wild.
That was a great video.
All right, man.
So many videos.
We'll do three more. We'll do three more. All right. What is Jay-Z's best album in your opinion?
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt.
Yep.
Going the classic. Yep. Can't argue that.
His debut.
He's going with the classics. All right. Let's see. The Chronic or Doggy Style?
Doggy Style. I feel like the Doggy Style was the Chronic amplified a little bit, more tweaked up and more polished than the Chronic. I love the Chronic, but I skipped more on the Chronic than I did Doggy Style. And Doggy Style remains one of my favorite West Coast hip hop albums.
It's a classic, absolutely. It's it definitely standing on the shoulders of the Chronic. You know that came first. All right, man. I want to end this with a good one. All right, this is a broad one, and this might seem like a superficial question, but old school or new school hip hop, where do you land on that, or do you even draw those distinctions between old school and new school?
You know what? It all comes down to like now what's considered old school. It depends on the time frame. Now if we're talking true old school, like the late 80s, super early 90s, because mainly like, you know, my hip hop listening involves like, you know, the earliest I'll go is like early De La and Tribe, and anything back from that. Anything older than that, I'll just like, you know, pick some pieces here and there, but I won't listen to a full album if it's too old school. Because
you don't have the Fat Boys on deck.
No, because it's a little too dated. You know what I mean? So I won't do it like that. But then when you get to like the mid 90s, 93, 94, 95, that's when I start listening to like albums in its entirety and just letting them rock out. So that period between like 93 all the way up throughout the 90s is just like incredible albums. You got the Biggie albums, Nas, Mobb Deep, Jay-Z. You got so much going on. The Fugees, Tupac. It's just all these albums, and I feel like that 93 to like 2000, that era right there is, you can't really touch it.
Right.
Like you'll get some sprinkles of like some classic moments here and there in the 2000s but the Roots is all in there. It's just like 93 to 2000. I feel like can't be touched.
7-year stretch. Amazing.
Man.
Yeah. It's of course, obviously it's all relative, you know, and like I think a lot of it also depends on when you were 15 makes a big difference.
Right.
Because that's basically the deciding factor in your taste. But you know, I think there's always good and bad music in all the eras, you know, and you
Yeah.
might be like, just as I can hear something from 2019 and be like, oh, this is good for 2019.
Yeah.
In the same way that I could be like, oh, this is good for 87, you know, but that's like my like bias, you know, but I think that the terms are just very relative. I started getting nervous in the early 2000s when I remember I would watch like 106 in Park. They'd be like, oh, and it's our old school jam of the day. It's Redman, I'll Be That, or something. And I'll be like, now you're using old school to describe, you're just using old school as a term that means not right now.
Right.
And that feels dangerous to me. You know what I mean? Like,
and I'll be there. It's not even that old when 106 in Park was going. So I'm like, wow, really?
That's one of those moments where you're like, oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
And a lot of times you have to. I feel like this. You really need time to equate a certain era. You have to be able to get away from it and look back at it to see what was popping at that time. Like if you look at 2015 to 2019, we got to back away from it for a couple of years and then revisit and see how many great albums came out between 2015 and 2019, and then you can compare it to like a certain block in the 90s. And I feel like that period, like 94 and 95 alone, not many eras in music can really mess with that. It's ridiculous, just, man. So it's like, and these albums stand the test of time, and that's why I rarely give like a classic rating to anything unless I'm a few years away from it.
Yeah, it's perspective. It's just perspective. Yeah, totally. Well, Tony Baker, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. This was great.
Yeah, of course. You know, we've had a lot of requests, especially from a lot of our past guests, wanting to come back and go head to head as well. So if you'd be down for that, you know, I know Merce has been talking a lot of shit. He wants to go head to head with some of the people. We might have to hook that up. So
I would love to. I would love to go head to head.
Is there anything you want to just promote, shout out? I mean, I'm acting like I'm a big like talk show. You're on the internet every day talking to people, so like I'm sure if you have something that you want to promote, you've been doing it. But for those who are watching for the first time, or you know, just getting up, what do you have in store?
I have a comedy special coming out real soon called Tony Baker and Friends. It's going to be coming out real soon. We still trying to figure out how we're going to release it, but it's coming real soon. I'll be doing movies with Tony again, probably Friday and Sunday on my live. And, nice. You know, rock with me on Twitch. I'm on Twitch now, having a great time. So, yeah. We
are about to get on Twitch as well. We've been playing in the shallow end of the pool and just figuring out the layout, and we're about to go deep, baby. We'll always be on Instagram, but, you know,
right.
Sure, we all know that Twitch is the future.
Right,
but,
right.
Tony, thanks again so much. Be safe. Let's keep in touch. Everybody watching, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us at The Questions Hip Hop. Follow me at Sean Dammit. Follow at DJ Steve Wonder. Follow Tony Baker Comedy. Be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow when we have Mr. C on the fucking show. We're so stoked. Can't wait. Tony, peace.
Thanks, bro.